Welcome to another science video. Today we're talking about the periodic table of elements. After watching this video, you should know who Dmitry Mendeleev was, his accomplishments, what the periodic table is, and a little bit how the elements are organized in the periodic table of elements. Let's get started. Dmitry Mendeleev. Early life. He was born in a Siberian village. Dmitry was the youngest of 17 siblings, only 14 of which lived to the age of 2. His father was a school principal, a teacher of fine arts, politics, and philosophy, and became blind, losing his teaching position. When Dmitry turned 16, his mother traveled with him on horseback from their village to Moscow, an incredibly difficult journey. You can see here that you would have to zoom out to see the curvature of the earth to even get that in screen. Their request when they got there was denied. Dmitry and his mother traveled to St. Petersburg, his father's alma mater, and pleaded again. This time, their long journey ended in success. Mendeleev graduated and later published an academic award-winning textbook, Organic Chemistry, in 1861. He worked as a professor at St. Petersburg Technological Institute and received awards for his work, including a Nobel Prize nomination. His most important contribution to science was the periodic table of elements, which is, if you're taking notes, this is a point to write this down. The periodic table of elements is an arrangement of the chemical elements with periodic trends. Mendeleev claimed that he had a dream show him the idea of the periodic table. I saw in a dream a table where all elements fell into place as required. Awakening, I immediately wrote it down on a piece of paper. His reorganization of the known elements was a simple way to show the relation between elements and their properties in a visual way. When Mendeleev organized the elements from lightest to heaviest, it showed elements periodically have similar characteristics. This is why it's called the periodic table. When new elements were discovered, they were added to Mendeleev's table to make today's periodic table of elements. So we're going to look at reading the periodic table now. The periodic table is organized to make it easy to show certain similarities, properties elements have. First, each element has a symbol. In this case, it is H. And each element has a name. In this case, it is hydrogen. Sometimes the symbol and the name are letters in the element's name, and sometimes they don't seem much different. They seem much different. H for hydrogen is easy, but Na, for example, does not seem to match the word sodium. This is because the original Latin name for sodium is natrium, so Na is the first two letters of the Latin name, not the English name. Many elements have Latin roots, and some have different symbols than their new name might have. Also, each element has an atomic number. The atomic number is the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom. The number of protons in an atom's nucleus determines which element it is. Neutrons do not determine the element type. So it works like this. If you have an atom and you look at its nucleus, it has one proton in the nucleus. The atomic number is 1, and it is always a hydrogen atom. An atom with 2 protons in its nucleus will have an atomic number of 2, and it will be a helium atom. So here you can see that there's a diagram for each of these. Each element has a mass as well because it is made of matter, called relative atomic mass, and it is measured in a unit called atomic mass units. Finally, each element has a block, which shows which orbital, or the space where the electrons orbit the nucleus. That's showed up in the corner here. The atom's outer electrons are found in which block on the periodic table. So in this video, we've learned the story of Dmitry Mendeleev, his work organizing the elements into what we call the periodic table of elements, which is arranged based on periodic trends, what the periodic table shows, and how to read it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.